In the last video, we saw how to create a vertical navigation menu in Excel that can change between the sheets that we have. However, this time, instead of creating a vertical navigation menu to the left side, I want to show how to create the navigation menu horizontal or up to the top of the spreadsheet. To create a navigation menu in Excel, you can either start with a blank workbook or you can use an Excel file that you already have a data set, let's say. As we can clearly see, I have a sales report right here, but you don't need to use a sales report. You can use anything, even a blank sheet, okay? So I have, as we can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 different sheets. And I want to use all those different files into my navigation menu. If you don't have anything, you can click in this plus sign to add a new sheet. And then you can start from a blank workbook. Doesn't matter, right? Let me get rid of this new sheet. Okay, so let's go to the first sheet right here. Because I want to create a horizontal menu, I actually need to use, let's say, the first row or the first 2 or 3 rows as my navigation menu. But here I have a problem because the first, the second, and the third row and so forth contains my data set, my report. So what I can do is I can click in the first row and then right click and go to insert. That way I'm gonna have a new blank row. I can do it again and one more time maybe. Okay, I think it's enough. Now in the first row, I want to increase the width of this row right here because it's too small to contain the navigation menu. So let me, in between the first and the second row, click, hold, and drag down, because that way we can increase the width. Okay, much better. Now let me click in the first row to select everything and go to the Home tab, change the font, the background to a bluish color or whatever. You can use any different color, right? You can choose the color that you like the most. Let me keep up with this darker blue right here. I think, yeah, this one is okay. Now the second row, I want to use a different color just to create a different effect. Let me click here in the color. Maybe I can use a yellowish or a orange color. Let me right click in the second row and I want to decrease the row height. Let me use 5 and then okay. Yeah, that's it. Now it's time to create the buttons, and to create the buttons is very easy. We can go to insert, shapes, and then you can select the shape that you like the most. I want to keep up with a rectangle with just a basic rectangle, okay? Click, hold, and drag to create the area of the rectangle. Something that is very important in the shape in Excel is if you increase or decrease the width of any column, look what's going to happen with the shape. It's also going to follow along with the modification that you do to the column. So to avoid this issue, you can right click in the shape and go to format shape. Here to the right, you can go to this last option, size and properties. Let's go here to properties. Don't move or size with cells. And then you can close it. Now, even though you change the width of the column, as we can see, the shape is going to stay always with the same proportions. Now it's time to change the design and the layout of this button to the one that we like. So maybe I can use for the standard, the background as the same color as the navigation menu. So it's this blue right here. I can also create a border. So let me go to shape format, shape outline, and maybe a white color as the border. And if you click in shape effects, we can also create some effects such as shadow or a reflection or maybe a glow. I think glow is going to be very interesting. Or I think I want to use just a shadow. And whenever I click in the button, this specific button is going to change the color. So we can do all those effects later to the activate button. Now we can give this button a name or input the text within the button. 1, 2, and maybe sales report. Let me select here everything and go to Home tab, put everything in bold, increase the size of the font, maybe 16, and align in the middle and also horizontally and vertically like this. Yeah, that's it. This is the first button. So whenever I click in this button, I want to, the button opens the first sheet or the sheet 4. And now is something very important that we need to be mindful. If you keep the name of the sheet, like myself right here, for example, sheet 4, you always gonna need to stick with this name, sheet 4, because we basically are going to match the name of the sheet with the button. And if you change the name of the sheet, the button is going to lose the reference. So this is why it's very important to keep up with the same name always, right? So if you want to change the name of the sheets, do it right now, okay? But anyway, I'm going to stay with the same name. However, if I right click here, go to rename, I of course can use sales, report, or whatever. Now let's create all the 3 other buttons that we need. So I don't want to do it all over again. So I'm going to click and hold Control Shift, and then I'm going to click in the button, click, hold, and drag to the right. One more time, and one more time. But let's say I need to organize it better because I have a space right here, the same space right here, but a different distance between the 2 last buttons. How can I properly organize those buttons? What I can do is I can click in the first one, Control, press and hold the Control down, and then the second one, the third one, the fourth one. And then I can go to Shape Format, Align, and then I can go to Distribute horizontally, like this. Yeah, now all the spaces or all the buttons are being separated with the same space. The second one, I can change the name to, let's see what I have here. Okay, this is the item list or the inventory, right? So let me go here, instead of using sales report, inventory report. Okay, the third sheet is going to be the customer report or just customer. Okay, it's enough. And the fourth one, I know that I have a dashboard in Excel or some analysis, like we can see here. So that's it. All the buttons are done. Now what I can do is I can link the button to a specific sheet. And to do it, let me right click in the button and go to link. And with this new pop-up, you can choose here, place in this document, and select the cell reference that you want to open whenever you click at the button. So let me go here. The first one is going to be sales report. Okay. The second one, right click, link sheet 5. The third one, link sheet 6. And the last one is going to open the last sheet that I have. Okay, that's it. Now it's working. If I click, let's say, in the customer button, I'm gonna open the customer sheet. Simple as that. So this is how we can do it. But I want to show here, how can we copy and paste this panel to this navigation menu to all the sheets that we have? Because if you try to use copy and paste, it's not gonna work that well. But anyway, before we copy and paste the entire navigation menu, we can start with copy and paste the background, because you're gonna see it's not gonna work that well to copy the buttons. So let me select the first row, the second, and the third one. Control C to copy. Now I want to go to the second sheet and select the first row. Okay. Now instead of using Control V, do not use Control V to paste. Use Control plus sign. Okay, that's it. Now let me copy those 3 rows again. Control C, go to the third sheet, select the first row, and again, Control plus sign. Control C to copy, go to the last sheet, and then select the first row, Control plus to paste. And as we can clearly see, the buttons are not here. So this is what I was talking about. So to copy and paste the buttons easily, what we can do is go to Insert, and why I can't, let's say, select all the buttons, Control C and Control V, because if you do it, the buttons are not going to be properly aligned. Let's say in the first sheet, the first button is in this position right here. However, maybe if you copy and paste to the next sheet or to the next one, this button that needs to be in this specific position are going to be, let's say, just here, or it can be to the right. So it's not going to be properly aligned, all the buttons. So let's go to Insert, Shape, and then choose again a rectangle. Click, hold, and drag. You can create any type of area. Click, hold, and drag up and to the left. Okay, as far as you can. Now with the first shape selected, you can again press and hold the Control key to select all of the buttons that you have. Now it's time to press Control C to copy. Go to the second sheet, click in the first cell, Control V. As we can notice here, I'm using the bluish rectangle as a reference to copy and paste all the buttons in the same position, in the same place, to all the different sheets. Let me go to the third one, first cell, Control V to paste. Last one, first cell, Control V. Okay, now as we can see, if I click in any button, all the buttons are going to stay in the same position. And this is what I was talking about earlier, okay? Okay, so we are almost done. what we can do now is we can get rid of this bluish rectangle right here. So let me click here, get rid of inventory, get rid of, oh, I just realized right now that our inventory is misspelling right here. But anyway, customer, get rid of the rectangle, dashboard, get rid of the rectangle. Now let's go again to the sales report. The sales report right now is the active sheet. Okay, so I can customize this button differently. Let me right click in this button and maybe I can use a background color such as a yellowish one and select the text and change to a darker blue like this. Now let's go to the inventory. I can do the same thing right here. Change the background and the font color, go to the customer, right click, change the background and the color of the font, and to the dashboard. Let's go to the dashboard first and do the same thing right here. Now as we can notice, whenever I click any button, the sheet or the button that I click it are going to be in a different highlight. This is how we can create this customized horizontal menu in Excel. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As we can see, it's very simple to create this navigation menu in Excel. However, it can be very useful on a daily basis to save time and also to avoid always need to go here to the footer of the Excel to change between the sheets. Okay, I hope this video can help you out, and if you have any questions or any suggestions to the next videos, let me know, comment down below, and I see you tomorrow. As every day has a new video, I see you there.